So today we're going to be going through the pull movement patterns. Okay, so this is opposite of what we went through. We went through the push last time. So we're going to be going through the pull. Okay, so today we'll have a chat. We'll be going through a PowerPoint presentation, just chatting about the movement standards. And what we've actually done is we've broken up all the movement standards into a simpler form, which is movement patterns. So basically there's 8 fundamental human movement patterns that is the basis of all movements. Okay, so we're going to go through the pull movements today. So today we're going to be going through the pull movement patterns. Okay, that's one of 8 fundamental human movement patterns. The 8 fundamental human movement patterns. One is locomotion. So that's just basically walking. And I like this diagram just here, right? This is kind of like the evolution, I guess. Evolution and then de-evolution. So kind of start, primal, and then we get into this sort of posture, eh? So the human movement patterns are really useful to know to rectify certain postural issues. So people that tend to be in front of the computer a lot tend to have a certain postural issue. Can anybody tell me, for you guys who are in the EXE 402 and 403, can you tell me what kind of postural issue presents with people who are usually at the computers? Anybody want to have a stab? Vaughn, you want to have a stab? Heather? Come on, it's time to shine, time to use all that knowledge that you guys have gained.
I can't remember the names for it, but because they're hunched forward a lot, so you need to kind of, straighten that by doing back. So
Spot on. Yeah, perfect. I seem to be cutting out a little bit. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, bro. I think it might be Heather.
Oh, okay, Heather. That's all right. But she's spot on. Spot on, Heather. So basically, it's called you're anteriorly rotated. So it's called kyphosis. So when your chest is rounded and your shoulders are forward. So it tends to, so the muscles that are tight are the chest and the anterior deltoid, front of the deltoid. So what we need to strengthen is the rhomboids, the muscle in between the back and in between the shoulder blades, and then the rear delt back of the shoulder, okay? So, these fundamental human movement patterns are really, really important because you can get them back to baseline, back to the basics. The other 7 human movement patterns are the squat, the lunge, the hinge. Those are all lower body movement patterns, which is one webinar. And then we've got the push, which is today. Sorry, the push, which was last week, pull today. And then we've got a core, which goes through rotation and bend, okay? So, yeah, the pull, obviously, it's the opposite of the press, okay? It consists of pulling a weight towards your body. So like if you're doing a seated row, or pulling your body towards your hands. So like you're doing a chin up, okay? So your body is going towards your hands. So there's a horizontal pull, which we just explained there. So horizontal meaning flat, straight. So a horizontal pull would be a row, and a vertical pull will be a chin up, okay? Does that make sense? Major muscle groups that are working, say with a seated row, as we're looking at the back, essentially. If you want to break it down even further, we're looking at the rhomboids. So the scientific name for the back is back muscles between the spine. The shoulder blade and the spine is the rhomboids. That's the primary muscle group that's working. And usually there's secondary muscle groups that are working. With the row, there's 2 joints. So you always look at the joints that are working. So there's the shoulder joint, which stimulates the rhomboid. And then there's the elbow joint, which stimulates the bicep, okay? So there's two muscle groups that are working with a horizontal pull, like a seated row. And I guess the 2 muscle groups when we're looking at a lat pull up or a chin up. Can somebody tell me the other major muscle group in the back? So it begins with L.
Latissimus dorsis.
Yeah, spot on. Oh, he even went the whole game. I was easy with lats, but he went the full Monty, so that's awesome. And then also, yeah, biceps as well. For usually the last third of the movement is biceps. Okay, and it's the same with the push. Remember when we went through the push, the chest, the shoulder is usually the first joint that's moving. Therefore, the chest is the first muscle group, the major muscle group that's working. And the secondary joint that's working is the elbow. So the triceps is the last muscle group working at the end. And we always remember when we're doing a row is, just to keep constant tension in the muscle. We don't fully lock out. Okay, so we keep a slight bend in the elbow. This just keeps constant tension in the muscles that are working. Okay. So some of the key cues when we're looking at a seated row, as personal trainers, when we're instructing, we always want to take 2 angles. So usually front or back, and then also from the side. Okay, so we can see different things from different angles. From the back, we can see if, or the front, we can just see if they're pulling the weight towards their belly button. Okay, you don't want to be pulling the weight towards your chest, because that means that your shoulders are usually elevated, which means you're going to get tired and sore upper traps. So you want shoulders back and down and just pulling towards your belly button. Also, just make sure that, the shoulders are straight, so they're not pulling on an angle. So make sure the shoulders are straight. And then from the side, we can see different postural things as well. So just ensure that they've got a nice natural curvature in the lower back. Okay, you don't want to have a flat back, and you don't want to be arched. You want to have a natural curvature in the lumbar spine. And then also just ensure that they've got a natural curvature in the neck. Okay, so their neck's not protruding forward, or they're not like pulling back like that. They've got a nice natural curvature in the spine.